Hey everyone, it's me, Rhonda, and this is Celebrity Mess. We're not here to talk about our mess, we're here to talk about their mess because they keep putting it out there and we keep eating it up. So before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and let's get messy. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? I'm tired. I can't keep doing this mess. I feel like I've been well shoot, we all been. Anybody that's been paying attention to this Escape SWV Rocky and side chick lady drama, and oh yeah, there's Tamar. It's every 15 minutes they coming out with a different side of the story. And then anyway, I'm gonna start here because I feel like this side chick lady, Unique. Shout out to Tasha K because she got it popping over there now, didn't she? I really don't want to give her a whole lot of energy. Ain't nobody out here giving no kudos and no awards to some chick that's been sleeping with this lady's husband for 5 years. I mean, this lady, Unique side chick, she said that she considers what her and Rocky had a real relationship. And as much as we all hate to admit it, it is a relationship that they've been having for 5 years. We don't know the nature of their relationship. Rocky is a fuckboy, so he has women. He got hoes and different area codes. That's what we gonna probably suspect. Lady, I don't know how many receipts you got. And you could bring them out to us. We gonna eat it up because that's how we're built. We're out here scrolling the internet streets looking for entertainment, pretty much, to distract us from what we got going on in our own messy ass lives. So, because we all got some mess, let's be clear. But we not, some of us are. I don't tweet my shit. I might send some subs because I'm petty. And that's probably why I usually tend to lean into the side of petty, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Girl, you can keep on bringing receipts. You cannot really bring receipts to the wife because she already knows. Unique side chick lady, she already knows. Now, she's not about to just hand her husband over to you. And to be honest, you're not coming. Why should he? You've been there for 5 years. We didn't know nothing about you. We don't really know nothing about Rocky. We know we don't like him that much, but this is your dude. And you put him on blast on Instagram. You came with a story some months ago about how this dude, Rocky, and you are having a baby. That sucks because he has a wife, and we all know that. And we're looking at you like, why are you putting it here on the internet? The outcome is supposed to be what? Rocky and Tasha have been married for 28 years. She has probably known about so many other women like you that she's numb to that because she wouldn't still be there. And Rocky is quite slimy. We can see that and hear it based on the conversation that he had with Tasha K. And not that bright. Like for somebody that thinks he's so smart, it doesn't really matter what you bring to the table or what you think you bring to the table. You can bring pretty, you can bring pussy, you can even have his baby. Shout out to Martell and Ariana. That's not going to change anything. And guarantee you, when you made the announcement that you were pregnant over here, she already knew over there. And She ain't went nowhere. They over here Bonnie and Clyde it down on the internet. I don't know how that makes you feel, because right now you're over here, Tasha K, saying how he threatened you and all these different things, negative things. So I guess the bottom line is, thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Somebody else will fill those shoes for you. Please believe. Like I said, you can keep putting receipts out there and we're going to keep reading. It's not going to change anything. Him and his wife are what they are over on that side of the fence. And you are still a side chick. I mean, if that's a comfortable place for you to be, then live your life, but keep your business to yourself, because we don't really like you and we don't like Rocky much either. I just don't understand this whole wave of women coming to the internet and picking up, calling the husbands and telling them to put the man on the phone and all of that stuff. I hate to keep bringing up Ariana, but since she went the Tasha K route, it's almost like she's trying to gain that same. No, she's a groupie. She's trying to gain that same notoriety, or what do they call it? Become as infamous as I am. Do you pay attention? Because this girl is over there by herself still in an apartment, being still manipulated by Martell because they share it. If you go to live, honey, it's all right there. Now, you can't say I'm being nosy if I pick up my phone and here you are talking. And so there you are. I turned on my TV and there you were talking to Tasha K. This is where it all begins. Tasha, I hope you get your 4 million from this nonsense, because you've had the streets talking. So that being said, Miss Unique Side Chick, thank you for all the receipts. We're not gonna lie, we really enjoyed the entertainment of it all. We kind of don't care now. We're gonna go focus on Tasha and the rest of us escape, because that's why we came here to start with. And do your life with Rocky or without, but I don't see a situation being any different. Rocky. I never really understand why entertainers, and it seems like it's always the woman. I don't see, the only person I can think of, and it may be more, I don't know, the only person I could think of that had a wife as a manager is The Rock. I mean, it worked out for him fine. I feel like when you're moving into a new relationship, it's going to be real hard to have a new wife and an ex-wife all up in the business. But he figured it out, and he's The Rock. So there's that. But usually it's the husband managing the wife, and it never goes well. It never does. You need a different person to be your manager, because when it gets messy, there's too much emotion involved. Tasha is tied to Rocky in a way that goes far beyond this clown over here. I mean, I hate to call the lady clown, but she clowning real big. So be a clown, girl, if that's what you want to be. But outside of that, Rocky and Tasha have 28 years of investment in each other. I think they have a son. I feel like he said he had one son. So I think Tasha, she never talks about her kid. The other members, their families have been very much a part of the show, even because the show opens. We've been over to Tiny's mini houses. Tiny, I'm sick of you and all your houses, but I ain't mad though. We see Candy and her kids. Candy is the most exposed as a housewife, so we've been there for a whole lot we got, Aunt Bertha and all them. Love you, Aunt Bertha. Who else? All of them. SWB, I keep doing that. SWV and their whole group has been pretty much non-problematic, because they don't talk to each other like that. They really just do business together. And if that's what it is, that's what it is. Like, who really goes to work every day and you're best friends with all your coworkers, or friends at all, or even talk to some of them? I mean, sometimes you just go to work to do the job and come back home. It's always cool when you do have a relationship with a coworker, because it just makes work more fun. But, they don't really have that kind of friendship relationship, but they're getting the job done. I got off track a little bit because there's not a whole lot to say about Rocky. Rocky is slimy. He's affiliated with R. Kelly, so that says a lot. He threw out Trey Songz's name. I mean, keep him coming, Rocky. Did you know, what's that man? Well, Bill Cosby. That's not the one I was trying to remember. Anyway, Rocky called Tasha K. I'm not sure why, or she put a word out that she wanted to talk to him. Anyway, he called her, and the whole phone call was recorded, and she's sitting there like as if it was like an interview, basically. He did a call-in interview with Tasha K. Now, he's slimy. I don't think he's stupid, not that kind of stupid. So he knew exactly what he was getting himself into. I don't know. I think he thought he was going to sell himself, though, like as the good guy, or, I don't know. Him and Tasha keep trying to sell Rocky to us. We don't want it, Tasha. You can have it. You and Side Chick Unique can bounce Rocky back and forth between the two of you until the end of times. We don't want Rocky. We think he's slimy. My personal opinion, he ain't my type. Like, he looks to me like, that guy that be standing on the side of 7-Eleven when you come out asking, like, you got a cigarette? That's what he looks like, that guy to me. But that's just me. He went on Tasha K. He ran his mouth too much. I'm not sure what it is we are supposed to get from that phone call, to be honest. Like I said, it was salacious, but at the end of the day, we really want to know, Rocky, where was the $30,000? Tasha was asking you questions about the side chick lady, but you don't have to convince us that you wasn't with that lady, because we know you did, and it is what it is. You ain't the only one out there. I would say out of 10 probably out there. I don't know where the one is that ain't out there being slimy, but I don't feel like I've met him yet. Anyway, Rocky called Tasha. They went back and forth. She had a ton of questions, mostly relating to this side chick lady, because she interviewed her too first. We just want to know, what did y'all do with the money? And I don't feel like it's a whole lot you can tell us that's going to convince us that you didn't take the money, you and Tasha. You said something about the names got mixed up, so it makes me feel like you feel like she owed you the money somehow. I don't know. It doesn't matter, because she's not going to press charges, because that's her sister. And I think she feels like for her, the $30,000 didn't hurt her the way maybe it would have an average person who could, do a lot more with 30. She could do a show and make 30 in a night. So I get why she didn't press charges, but at the end of the day, I'm sure she still, obviously she still has her feelings, not so much by you, I think, because she felt like she was slimy anyway. She was really probably just having a relationship with you because she looks up to her sister so much. So there's probably a lot more hurt going on there than it is worrying about getting the money back, because she doesn't need the money back. It's funny because, and people will argue back and forth this point too. The side chick and the wife are virtually the same. Two women in a whole ass relationship with a man, that one is having a public relationship, one is having a secret relationship. Both women are somewhere in tears, probably a lot of the time, because this nigga is playing the both of them. Tasha been there 28 years, this young lady been there 5 years, and she probably ain't going nowhere. Because as much as they're probably going back and forth on the internet and on phone screenshots and all that stuff, they still probably get back together in some secret way that they've been doing. And, she can freak him how she freak him, and he can go back home. I'm going to get off from them, because it's a whole lot of mess that's just here to hurt Tasha, which sucks, because Tasha been going through a lot of hurt her whole life, I feel like. I also feel like, she's a victim a little bit, but you can't really say, if you haven't been through something, how somebody feels. Seems like her feelings are angry and sad. Those are the two things that I get from Tasha. When I see her smiling and doing this thing that she does, comes across so fake and not real, because we looking at your husband Rocky over here being foolish out loud for us to sit here and talk about, and then you dealing with the things that you're dealing with within your own family, which seemingly has started from a long time ago. We'll get into that in a minute. So I started at the end because I don't want to sit here really and talk a whole lot about Side Chick Unique and slimy ass Rocky. So now I'm gonna fast forward or roll backwards. I'm gonna roll backwards to the beginning. Sunday, not yesterday, last Sunday. Sunday, we watching SWV, the review. I review it as Shooting the Shit with Rhonda and T. If you want to see our review together, then you can lean on over there and listen to us review the whole show. But I watched the show Sunday. After the show, of course, two things happened. The show ended with Kandi asking about money. I guess Xscape doesn't have management and SWV does have management, probably because they're moving as a unit, and that's the only way they can make money, as a unit. Xscape over here, they can juggle things around because there's 4 of them, thing one, and because they all sing lead, Tasha, not just you. So, and Tamika's voice is strong, and she can sing Tasha's parts. Like, she has the capability of singing Tasha's parts. They don't have the same voice, but they definitely both come from the strong, like, church choir voice. And that's why gospel honestly would be a good place for her. But anyway, so Sunday, the Xscape SWV show, the girls get into conflict about headlining, how they're going to headline, and apparently that has something to do with the how much, the money. That's the bottom line. The money is the bottom line. And initially, when I first heard it, I was kind of irritated, like, Kandi, why can't we just, co-headline? It seemed like the only way to do it. But now that I'm finding out, I know nothing about the music business. Besides, there's a bunch of slime balls out there that you got to deal with, like Rocky. So if you want to be dealing with that kind of joker all the time, that's what that is. But anyway, SWV has management. Xscape does not have like management because they're rarely Xscape. I think obviously this is something that has reintroduced for them to make money. Obviously, Kandi ain't really obvious. Kandi is a housewife on Bravo. She doesn't need it. Tiny and T.I., they got 5 houses and a whole. Tiny can go get a show. So that's not. We love Tiny. And Tasha and Tamika are the ones that haven't necessarily been not in the limelight the same way. I'm not saying they haven't been working, but they haven't been featured until now on this show. So just based on the way Tasha has been acting, we've been doing a whole lot of this happened because they've been fighting for a long time, and it just seems so exhausting to be still fighting over Kandi and Tasha singing lead from back in 1992. I can't see how a 50-year-old woman and a 40-something-year-old woman are still having a conversation. At this point, I don't even know why they want to talk about it anymore. Tasha was on a tour, I guess you would call it, of interviews supposedly promoting her gospel album. I don't really remember a whole lot of talking about the gospel album. I did click on the video on YouTube. It looked like Tasha in a wedding dress singing by a pool with a band. Tasha has a beautiful voice. There's no disputing that. Nobody's going to sit here and say, hands down, in the group Xscape, Tasha and Tamika are the voices. Candy is a sound. I mean that in a bad way. I just mean, her tone is not that. And I don't think you always need that for a song. Sometimes, like me and my niece had this conversation about Mariah Carey. She likes that sing-songy Mariah Carey vision of love, Mariah Carey. I like her too, except she wasn't who I was grooving to. I like the other, the puffy Mariah Carey versus the Tommy Mottola Mariah Carey. I like the JD Mariah Carey. And she got the vocals because I'm a lamb and that's my girl. I can't, probably one of the best singers on the planet. Whitney Houston. I've never really been a Whitney Houston fan. Not saying it's not about her voice, it's just about the music. So, Tasha, we believe you. We hear you. We love your voice. It doesn't mean, you're going to be hot like that by yourself unless you get, unless you get the right song. Tasha's attitude also plays into, I don't even want to say her lack of success because she seems like she's pretty successful. I'll say her lack of not being in whatever position it is she feels like she's not in. She seems to have always wanted this career all by herself without anyone. Tasha seems like an all by yourself without anyone kind of girl because they said Tamika was the one that introduced. Tamika was the friend. She's the one with the personality that everybody loves. And Tasha's kind of, I don't know this lady, and I can't really say what her personality is like. But what she's showing us is very stank. And I know people like that. Now, she has said herself how she was affected by how she was treated when she was younger. She was the heavy set one. That's an issue for her. That's a trigger for her. That's a trigger for a lot of people. We all know the heavy girl gets all this heat for absolutely no reason except for being bigger. Look at Lizzo. Lizzo is out here being beautiful and singing fantastically and being talented. She dances around. She plays the flute. The first time I seen Lizzo perform, I was sold. And then you hear all of the, but she's plus size. I wasn't here, Lizzo, with you when you went to the basketball game with your ass out. Now, I don't care how big or small it is, but cover your ass because I got to sit on them seats. That's all I'm going to say about that. But, again, back to Tasha, being in that place as a teenager, it's a hard thing. It's never hard to watch all the boys want to, Candy, apparently, because she was more the prototype. She's a chocolate girl, but she was thin and cute and had no issues, as far as that is concerned. I feel like all of them were smaller than Tasha back then. She clearly was affected by it. And I really don't have no critique on her as far as that's concerned. But I feel like in her life now, I mean, that manifested clearly into an angry energy. But it probably preceded that because we've seen the dynamics in their household. The mother and the father, and I'm going to talk about the father, over here doing interviews. Where was he at? I saw the interview. I saw her dad do an interview on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. So if you want to see his full interview, I'll put the source down in the comments, down in the description. Anyway, in that household, clearly there's a line. Tamika is daddy's girl and Tasha is mama's girl. When we saw Tasha and Tamika's mother say the whole thing about she's jealous, and we seen the connection with Tasha and her mother. Tamika, on the other hand, feeling like the outsider is the so-called daddy's girl. And I don't even know that it's how we perceive daddy's girls as being, when the daddy is in the household. So he was doing an interview and he had me so confused. He was asked if he left. What did they ask him? Like, because the mother said that he left them with, basically being a deadbeat. He walked out on them and left them behind to fend for themselves. And then he was asked, was that true? And he, much like Rocky, didn't answer the question. He said, I have photos of being there and I was there the whole time. And apparently he has this photo album that documents everything that he ever did with his girls. He sound like an Instagram daddy or, I bought Pampers nigga. No disrespect, Pastor, but I wasn't feeling any of that. He said he was a street dude from Detroit that got in a lot of trouble. And then, and he also said he had a lot of resentment towards his mother. Those were the two things that really stuck out about him. And so I'm like, so if you were coming from these streets and had this relationship with your mother that you said caused you to resent her, and then basically, I feel like I'm not watching it again. I feel like it has something to do with his father not being there. Somehow he blamed her for that, I feel like. But as he got older, I guess he understood where his mother was coming from. But when he left Detroit, he left there with a lot of resentment for her. I don't know how soon Tamika and Tasha's mother came after that, but clearly he wasn't the best man because he kept saying, I'm not the same man basically now that I was then. So I don't know, that relationship between her and him didn't end great, obviously. Did he take care of his kids? Not in the way that she felt like he should have. I don't know when he met his new wife because they've been married quite a long time and he's got 6 kids. So I don't know if the other 4 are her children. They didn't get into all of that. He just kept talking about you know how they say little girls pick their father as their, as their, I guess, blueprint for what a man should be. Tasha picked Rocky. Her daddy and Rocky is very similar. Now he not probably he said he was in the streets at some point. So at some point in his life he was out there skimming and scamming, and now he's a preacher, and I'm gonna leave it right there. Much like Tasha, he speaks very much like, praise the Lord. There's a whole lot of that going on in the middle of the conversation where he's not actually answering questions. He claimed, I guess basically he's the fifth member of Xscape because he said he took the girls to Jack the Rapper. I remember Jack the Rapper back in the day. I don't know why he would be bringing kids there, but he took them to Jack the Rapper. I guess he was trying to get them put on. They've been singing. The girls could sing, so they've been singing since they was little. He was a police officer or security or something of that nature, and he was there the whole time. And he has a documented picture book to show that he was there. Then there was distance. I don't know when the distance came in. He said he introduced him to JD. I never heard that story. I heard that they were at a birthday party, but maybe he was there doing security. I don't know. Somehow there's distance between him and his girls. And somebody said, when is the last time you've seen them? And he said, at a funeral. It's not like they're visiting back and forth. Like funerals and weddings and birthday parties, those are events. That's not like real life stuff. They weren't like, he didn't say last summer they came and stayed here and we all went to Disney. That's what we do around here. But yeah, so I don't know, Pastor Scott. I feel like you're just as much part of the problem as your ex-wife is. There was no attempts between parents to bring the girls together. It was all about taking sides. She said that he did this. He was trying to paint himself as such a great person while taking subliminal shots at the ex-wife. And so, she crazy, but you got some things about you too, Pastor. She was there. She raised her kids. I don't know where you were with the new wife. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Let me don't say that. Tasha and Tamika's relationships, and this is family shit. It ain't even like really that uncommon. I feel like a lot of people watching this play out can relate to the things that are going on here with this family. But we're not here to talk about our mess. We're here to talk about theirs because they're messy over here on Bravo and Twitter and everywhere. I do feel like Tamika's relationship with her father maybe started a little envy with Tasha, especially if she was the chubby one. First, she was the oldest, and she had her parents all to herself. I don't know the distance in age between Tasha and Tamika, but I think there's that. There's that whole thing where I used to be the only child, and now here this baby comes. Then they become Xscape. Xscape is built of Tamika's friends. Again, for whatever reason, Tasha and Kandi did not click. They just don't click. They have never clicked. They've never been friends. They've never really liked each other. They've always been at odds. They've always been competing with each other. Kandi, as much as I love Kandi, she's competitive. And I get that. I think it's in your nature sometimes to, just for some people, it's in their nature. Not that competitive is a bad thing, but if you have one person competing just because I like to win, and you have the other person competing because, I have lower self-esteem. I'm heavy. I'm dealing with not being the favorite necessarily in my household. And Tasha wants to be the favorite. She wants to be the best. She wants to be the favorite. Her issues are just coming from a different place. So when we see it from the outside, we see this negative one, and Kandi being the one that's like, I just did this and I just said that, and I get it, but you're competing too. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's the other nasty stuff that comes around all the mess. Plus, they're in the record business, and that place is it's dog eat dog. It's hard to stay if you're around all those manipulative, slimy people. Like, we talking about just the group members. Who knows? How many people, producers, and record label people, and all of the slimy people that they have to go through. That industry is male dominated, so that's a whole nother subject altogether. And there are a bunch of little girls. So who was there trying to keep them girls, from getting caught up? They mamas. That's why Mama Joyce was there. That's why Tiny and Tasha's mother was there, and that's why Tasha and Tamika's mother, and that's why Tiny's mother was there. Everybody's mama was involved in that situation, and that's probably what kept them girls from getting sucked up by the, sliminess. Except Tasha, she got sucked in. I feel like Rocky probably wooed her mama same way he wooed her, because does she have a husband? Because Pastor Scott has a wife, so I don't know if their mother ever, maybe she's like Miss Evelyn over there, where she just, I don't know. So, but anyway, I feel like Tasha's energy with Kandi only escalated from what was already going on at home, especially when she's older. So she feels like she knows more. She's not going to let this little girl come in here and tell her what to do, because you don't feel like she could sing anyway. You put that out there this weekend with, we don't have the time or the energy to go back over all of the videos that come out between. I was at work on Saturday, and every time I come out the bathroom, it's another video from somewhere of somebody. Mama's making videos, Daddy's making videos, Rocky making videos, his chicks is making videos. It's just everybody got something to say. SWV is over here fighting with Akbar, and I was like, last time I was this exhausted over some reality show was when Miss Wanda was out there in the parking lot at the Madani fighting, throwing barbecue at Melanie. But now Tasha has Rocky in her ear. Rocky, who spent 20 years, he claims, some long big number over there with R. Kelly. And he was at Aaliyah's wedding with R. Kelly. I did not. Aaliyah and R. Kelly had a wedding. So who was there besides Rocky and the other manager? Rocky was at Aaliyah's wedding. So I mean, I feel like the men over there are very good at manipulating women, young girls, because Tasha was a young girl with low self-esteem. That seems to be that's the prototype. All of those girls over there were, had issues with their parents and low self-esteem of some kind. I remember when I was watching Surviving R. Kelly. I was watching a documentary with my daughter, and she was probably 19 at the time, 18 or 19. And we were watching it together, and the young lady was talking about how she had to ask permission to go to the bathroom. And I remember saying, how does it get to that where you leave your home to go stay somewhere where you got to ask permission to go to the bathroom? I don't understand. And my daughter said, because you're not broken. And I was like, yep, you're right. I hadn't thought about it like that. And so Tasha was somewhat broken, maybe not to the extent that these girls were over here, but I don't know, because they all seemingly came from normal families. We know, that their parents, all of them, did have in common that they wanted to get their kid in the entertainment business. So to Mr. and Mrs. Scott over here, I don't know as a unit if they were trying to do it, but Mr. Scott said he had them girls down to the Jack the Rapper. And I remember being in college during Jack the Rapper. So, and I'm older than him. So anyway, Rocky has been trained by the school of R. Kelly. Tasha has an amazing voice, and I think Rocky saw a dollar sign. It's worked out for him all this time. Him working in that atmosphere with R. Kelly, he said he was security. He don't look like security to me, but okay, maybe back in the day he looked stronger than he does now, but anyway, he's around the business. So you gotta learn it if you're around it. And men share information with each other. They keep us out of the loop, but they go hard for their niggas. So it doesn't surprise me that he knows the business because he's been around it. And I heard somewhere, I'm not sure, I cannot confirm, but that he is Michael Bivins' cousin and he works for his company. So he's been around the business. We gonna give him that much, that he does know about the business, but he also knows about the R. Kelly business, where you groom little girls that are somehow broken with low self-esteem and turn them into, your cash cow or whatever it is you want to turn them into, depending on how slimy your level, where you fall on the slime level meter. So, I mean, I can even see why Tasha ended up in this relationship with Rocky. But then when you see Rocky ain't just start having side chicks, Side Chick Unique just the one that, brought this to the internet. So Tasha has been dealing with this hurt and pain for a long time. But Rocky also strokes her ego. He, gets her head all big, then she walks into rooms, claiming to be the best voice in there with all this attitude, and it makes her personality like off-putting. So when she comes in, these meetings, even with the group, all we know of her is what we see on TV, and what we see is her interviews, not even the stuff that's getting edited on Bravo, even her interviews, she comes in with this air about her that's so off-putting that you're like, I don't want to hear your record because you're a bitch or you're acting like one. And then you see her on the show with this type of energy, and then her sister say you took her $30,000 and you did, and ain't really nothing you can send Rocky over there to Tasha K to say that's gonna change our mind because we feel like you did, and we feel like you think you deserved it. So, because you feel like you deserve a lot of things. Now you over here trying to, press your gospel album, but you for sure gonna need to change your energy to godly because it's not that. And then your buddy Tamar over here. So let's get into that right quick. Tamar was on. Dang, I thought, did I start with that part? I got off subject. Sorry. Anyway, we're gonna roll with it however it goes. Tamar, after the show, went on Watch What Happens Live and brought up that whole nonsense about Todd and Candy trying to beat her up at backstage somewhere. Now that was some months back. We know Tamar is very extra and don't really pay much attention to that. When she put the tweet out, she was all anonymous with who it was. When she went on Watch What Happens Live and decided to, reveal that she was talking about Todd and Candy. That's convenient because, now the show is on and there's a lot of going on. Todd, are you responsible for this? There's a lot going on with Escape and SWV and back and forth on Twitter. And so Tamar's on a dating show where she met her little fiance, I guess, with Evelyn Lozada and Nivea. We also found out some months back that Tamar was dating this white dude, and everybody was like, where is he from? He's from New Orleans. He's the lawyer. All of that sounded cool. A lawyer from New Orleans, and he had a little swag about him. We didn't know that she met him on a dating show. For me, that changes everything. And then they're out here, his baby mama is out here, not his baby mama, one of his 4 baby mamas is out here saying he ain't been over here visiting the kid like he was or supposed to because he over here with Tamar. We know that's not Tamar's fault, but that's what that lady has said. So Tamar, you got a whole lot of mess already going on in your own life, but you choose to push yourself over here and jump on this Candy hating train. That's really, honestly, weird AF. I'm sorry. As adults, y'all piling up like on this lady for whatever reason is weird. But okay. I don't see how it's going to help you sell records. She has a show coming out. I ain't watched it. I don't want to watch it. I don't know anybody that has. If somebody reviews it, I'll probably catch it there. I think Bondi said she was, and Jamie said she was going to review it. I'll catch it. I'll get the tea over there because I'm not watching Tamar and Evelyn and Nivea have dates. I hate dating shows anyway, and these 3 I'm good on. Tamar started this whole drama. Now, I ain't heard Candy say nothing. She went on Watch What Happens Live. She made her announcement there. The next day, she's over here on Instagram Live. You can watch that video. I posted it. I connected it to my last video. Or you can go to her Instagram page and see it for yourself. It was a whole lot of Tamar doing a whole lot of Tamar. #changed. I'm not gonna sit up here and follow Tamar's changes. She's been changing since we met her, and she seemed like the same girl she's always been. So I'm not sure what the change is, but I haven't seen it. So Tamar has entered herself in this conversation with, as if there wasn't enough going on. So now we're talking about calling Todd names and arguing, fight with Candy and back and forth with that. And then kind of find out that Rocky had signed Tamar. So Tamar and Tasha are tight. So I guess that explains, are these the girls you got over here at the church representing? That's why I'll go, because that mess right there is nonsense. At the end of the day, I thought I was just gonna watch a show with some little bit of music, some SWV and some Escape. I like both of them. I'm not even gonna entertain the who had most hits and that kind of conversation because to me that's dumb. I get the drama that's needed for the show. However, this thing with Tasha and Rocky and Candy has become so distracting that when I watched the show last night, I was like, well, I guess, I'll just see tomorrow the update in real time. That's what happens. We're looking at stuff that happened a long time ago, and then when the update happens in real time, it's confusing. So yeah, I watched Speak On It this morning. Candy said her side. We could sit here and go, oh, okay, that's how that happened. As far as Tamar is concerned, we know Tamar is nonsense and gets in her own way. I see why her and Tasha get along. Tamar has a great voice. Tamar usually has good music. Her music I do like, even though she has a very sing-songy song voice. She be having good music though. I'm not interested though because her attitude, like, and I don't want this nonsense to now start affecting how I feel about when I hear Escape records or when I hear SWV records. I don't want to be thinking about y'all's drama. It's exhausting and probably not going away anytime soon. We still got uncles and cousins and stuff that want to come out, I'm sure, and do interviews and talk about how this one was this way and this one was that way. I'm gonna need Tasha and Tamika's daddy to stay off of the internet doing interviews. You're not helping. His solution was for them to sit down and have a conversation and hash it out with just him and not the mother. Really, they should just work on their personal relationship. I don't know how I can have a relationship with someone who stole $30,000 from me, whether I needed it or not, and seemingly she did. So, I mean, I don't know that there's any repair for that, and that's what's really sad. But they're gonna keep putting it out there, and we're gonna keep eating it up. So, on that note, I'm gonna let it go right there. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and next time I see you, we'll be getting messy. Bye, y'all.